I think that's it. I think we're live on this wonderful Thursday. Just getting all the windows set up here. Audio to me sounds crispy as a freshly baked cracker. I think we're good to go. For the most part, not too much week over week. Alt's picking up a little bit. That's good to see. Make sure I've got the chat situation straightened out. Thank you, Karen, for the audio check. Let's see here. That's not what I want. All right. I think we're good. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me once again on the YouTubes, through the interwebs. All the greats are here today. Joey, Karen, Werner, or Werner, if I say that right. Somebody was asking about pivot points. I couldn't find the website quick enough, but if you Google like pivot points standard calculator, all you have to do is type in the high and low of the year, and then it will spit out the pivot points for next year. Or any time period. You know, if you want to do pivot points for the upcoming quarter, you can do it based on the highs and lows of the quarter as well. So there's been a lot of people talking about, you know, are you bullish? Are you still bullish? Blah, blah, blah. Like, again, people are so afraid. They're so afraid. I get it. It's volatile. It's like a deep drawdown potentially, but people are seemingly eternally afraid to just do nothing. You know, they feel this need and urgency to do something, which I understand that. But this goes back to having some sort of plan and saying, all right, you know, what are my goals here? Are my goals to make as much money as I can? Are my goals to pay XYZ off? Are my goals car, house, vacation, whatever? You got to have some sort of goal in mind. That helps take the burden off of just focusing on price. But anyway, the price model I like the most, not just because it's become popular, but power law corridor, power law, long-term power law, whatever you want to think of it as. It is curve fit. Has been adjusted several times over the years. That's fine. You know, we need something. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we want something in the ballpark where we can figure out what the risk reward here potentially is. Even if this vastly underperforms, it still has potentially a ways to go here. I mean, the numbers into 2025, the ceiling, I don't think we get anywhere near 500K. I really don't. I think we're going to struggle above 250. But if we get passive money through BlackRock or the wirehouses or MSTR, QQQ, and blah, 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 like there's so much upside surprise. The risk is to the upside. The risk to me is not to the downside. Nobody owns this stuff. Everybody hates this stuff. Not much has really changed over the past decade. You know, it's like, yeah, price has gone up. More people have bought this stuff and held on to it, Bitcoin specifically. But there's still most of the world who has not touched this stuff yet. So I think you definitely have to keep that in mind. What is the total addressable market? What is the percentage of money in this thing? Now you can say that at any point over the past decade, right? But what's different now is we had the Bitcoin IPO. We have the ETFs. We have the accessibility. If you want to access this stuff, you don't really have an excuse anymore from a institutional perspective. Previously, it was, you know, custody concerns or security or whatever, right? There were easy and obvious things that you could just say, this isn't for me because XYZ. You can still lean on that from the custody perspective with the ETFs, but it's certainly getting harder when we've seen the gains we've seen in 2024. So anyway, price model looks good. You know, you wake up, you check two things, and you go about your day. The first one is the power law. If we've hit the purple line, it's time to sell, probably. Okay. I think it's going to be tough to get up there, but it's a good place. The other place we can check, Plan C, I think is his name on Twitter. Let me just pull it up. He does a really good, he or she, I don't know. I assume he does a really good, let me just find it. It is a rainbow power law probability. So like if we're trying to make a plan, like a selling plan, you know, maybe we start to exit in the yellow zone slowly and then we really ramp it up when we're getting in the red zone. But kind of like alt season and what's been going on with alts, it's like you really shouldn't, you know, if you've been here for more than 5 minutes, you should know like it's a little different. It will be a little different if we get up there for whatever reason. You know, pick your reason. SBR, global, whatever. It could be anything, right? You don't know. You don't know why. You don't know when. But I think the upside is still where the surprise is. Okay. So between Plan C's charts, BitBo, whoever, right? Doesn't matter who it is. Just, you know, you need something to sort of keep you grounded because the numbers could get pretty crazy. Definitely. Within the next year, within the next 2 years. But I assume it's going to be in 2025. We'll see if we can extend it into Q4 2025. I don't know. It really depends. Really depends. But I assume at the very least we're going to try to extend it until a year out from halving, which is what we've usually seen. The price high has typically come in between 300 and 500 days relative to the previous halving. So that brings us between like April and what, like Q3? April to Q3 2025 would be the potential high to watch out for. Second thing I look at is this. Market cap relative to the realized value. Anytime you move coins on chain, the realized value goes up because it goes up if price goes up. It's snapshotting the price relative to the coin movement. So if you haven't moved coins in 10 years and price is up 10,000%, that's not going to move relative value, but it is going to move the market cap. So that gives you the differential, that gives you the unrealized profit sitting on chain. You can see, if we look at historically what's happened with these huge spikes in unrealized profit sitting on chain, that has been a relative top. What's been interesting here is we're actually seeing a ton of on-chain activity. Now, previously it was the ETFs, it was GBTC, it was people selling BTC on-chain and then buying the ETFs for whatever reason. Recently, if we zoom in on this, MVRV is kind of flat with price rising. So that tells you people are selling up here a lot, right? They're realizing a lot of on-chain profit. So to me, that says we still have more buyers than sellers. That says we have people who are taking profit, but we have more people buying. It's that simple. So anyway, the level to watch is like 6, 7, 8, and you can establish a plan for that as well. You can say, okay, if we're at 6, I'm going to sell something. I'm going to sell a percentage. I'm going to sell 6%. I'm going to, whatever, right? Just have a plan. Have a plan, because if we get up there, it's going to be pretty crazy, and that means prices are likely much higher than they are now. No Golshi. BitBo, BITBO. I'll put the charts for all this stuff, the links to this in the description. So Ray, the ETF on-chain activity does get factored into this because at the end of the day, they are moving stuff on-chain. Not the ETF buyers and sellers, but the creates and redeems of the ETFs themselves do move coins on-chain. I think in 2025, we will know every on-chain address for all of the ETFs, whether the issuers want them shared or not. In the deep background, this is already known by the UTXO on-chain people. Michael Saylor's wallet is also known roughly by the on-chain people. So all this stuff's going to come out anyway. But definitely something else to watch. We can isolate like the ETF wallets specifically and then get an MVRV off of that. But we don't really know what the ceiling necessarily for those wallets is. We only really know what the aggregate chain MVRV would look like or has looked like over time. Anyway, but this looks great. To see prices going up and MVRV going down, love it. Love it, love it, love it. What's up? Jeremy Swan from England. So price-wise, I don't have too much to say. Again, we go through these periods of like inhale, exhale, where we inhale for a long time, hold our breath, and we finish the consolidation, we break out. We're still in that area here. This is the zone. So to go higher here, we could always measure the depth of this using wicks, not using wicks, that's up to you, but it measures slightly higher. Certainly, like 110 area. So you've got that on your side if you're bullish. The other thing we've got, of course, is high time frames, which look great. They look like any other high time frame breakout that we've ever had, 2017, 2020. If we look at the cup and handle measured move, that's higher. This is the third thing to really watch for, besides MVRV, besides power law. If we get up here, then it's going to be tough because there's probably going to be a lot of profit taking there as well. 170 to 300. We look okay here. There's no issues here. Not much going on high time frames. But once we get up there and we start printing potentially double toppy stuff or bear divvy stuff, whatever, just something to keep in mind. Low time frames here, I don't really have anything other than maybe this channel. If I can find the thing on the thing, I never remember. There's like maybe some kind of channel. Like, I don't know. I don't always have great ideas, right? That's part of the problem with TA and trading is sometimes there just isn't a clear picture and there isn't anything clear on technicals. It's just sort of chopping around, right? Chopping around. What's up? What's up, David? Is it fine to jump in now and hold for 1 to 2 years? Is it fine to jump in now and hold for 1 or 2 years? I mean, I can't give you direct financial advice, but it depends on your price targets. If we try to measure risk reward, based on a high time frame, probabilities or targets or whatever, one thing we could do is back to that cup and handle. We take the high, take the low. That gives us the fib targets. The lower end of the risk reward is 6, assuming we get to 250, assuming that your stop loss is somewhere around 53K. And anything higher than that, the risk reward, this number here goes to 12. I don't know if I can make this bigger. Can I? Yeah, there we go. This number right here is what I'm looking at, the risk reward ratio. So if this is your setup, I don't know, right? Trying to be careful with what I say. If this is where you think price is going, if this is your stop loss, this is the risk reward profile. That's a pretty good risk reward profile. I like DCA, I like lump sum, I like it all, but you're going to eat some drawdown. And some people don't like that. So what you could always do is 50% lump sum. That's just taking 50% of what you want to get in, and then the other 50%, you just weekly DCA. You know, if we want to just make it like stupid simple, this is what you could do. Or you just weekly DCA. And that's it, right? My issue with that here is like, where were you? Not to like, not to shame you, but you know, where were people here, right? It is what it is, but I still like higher. That's it. Weekly DCA back to as well. What's up, Mike? Tesla, we can take a look at. Tesla's another one that it's not trading on reality. It's trading on Elon Musk's proximity to the president, future president. Okay, you know, you can't look at the fundamentals of Tesla and take that trade to the long side because it doesn't make any sense at all. When in 2025 do I look for a top? John, I just said. If we look at every halving period, here, let's just go to this. I encourage you to do this yourself as well. Just, you know, don't trust verify, but if we turn on Bitcoin halvings, and we look at all the halvings, we'll go to the weekly. Okay, here are all the halvings. What have we seen historically? We don't have 100 years of data. We've got a decade, okay? This just is what it is. If we measure the days, sorry, from the first halving to the high was 350. The next halving to the high was 500. The next halving to the high was 330. So between 330 and 500 puts us between March and September 2025. Those would be the levels or the days, the time frames I would be paying careful attention to. Anything past 300 days, and we are going to need something to keep us going. Not saying we can't, not saying we won't. Where's 300 days? That is February 17th. That's coming up. That's coming up. So that's 300. 500 would be what? Sorry. What did I say? September something? September 15th or whatever, right? Like that's fairly soon. You know, there's only so many weekly candles here. So if we follow the typical 300 to 500 day post halving high cyclical 3 on 1 off blah 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 blah, if we do that, which I don't think there's any reason to think we won't until we don't, but it depends what it looks like. But if I had to guess, I would expect some sort of macro top in that time period. And we can make things up. Maybe we have a recession, maybe, I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't know why it would be then, other than that's just what has happened. That's it. We can look at weekly RSI. No. I don't know. A year after having MVRV, power law, cup and handle target, that's all that's all I really got. Should I hedge my Monero with Biddy? I love Monero. I've always loved Monero. The problem is nobody can buy Monero. Nobody can buy Monero. So what makes you think it's going to go up? That's the issue. MSTX. I would stay far, far away from the leveraged MSTR stuff personally. There's a pretty high chance that stuff explodes for whatever reason. It's just very hard to keep that on track over time. So I'd be careful with that. The same thing with BITU, any of the leveraged crypto stuff. Once that gets disconnected from reality, it's very hard to actually get that back on track. When BTC monthly hits 80, yeah, the issue is you actually want RSI above 70. That is, look at, again, just back test it. Look at all the times we've been above 70. It's been insanity, right? So that's what you want. So to say like sell at 80, okay, you could do anything. You can make up any system you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But we typically go higher, and we get a bear div after that, which just means even higher prices on less momentum. So it's tough to say like always sell at 80. Days from the highs to the low. I'm not sure what you mean there, Mike. Monero's on Kraken, but for who? In what jurisdiction and for how long? It's absolutely on Kraken. For Americans, I'm shocked and have been shocked for years that Monero's on Kraken. If this gets delisted at any day, at any point, randomly, I would be the least surprised. So I would just be very careful with that. That's all. It's great to use, but it is a difficult store value because nobody can buy it. Nobody can buy it. But yes, anything can do well. What about Dash? Yeah, what about Dash? What about Dash? All right, so BTC. Is there anything actionable here for me today? I don't think so. I don't think there's a trade or a setup. I don't really think there's anything to do in general. There is a TKC clamp, TK disequilibrium. We're overbought. Everybody knows that. Downside risk is 83. You don't want to lose 94. 94 is the Williams fractal trailing stop loss level. I wouldn't make it any more complicated than that. One thing you could do on your trading stack, not your hodl stack, would be to pay more attention to the daily versus the higher time frames. Not for everybody. You're going to have tax, what's it called? Tax event or whatever. So keep that in mind, obviously, but that's it. There's not really much else to say. I like bids from 94 to 84. I don't have anything else to say. We probably don't want to see, again, if we're like trying to find random diagonals that are basically the trailing stop loss, anything below this blue line, which is the Tenkin, we don't want that. Anything below the previous lower low, we don't want that. So far so good. It's just, what do you do here? I don't know. Like, right, we can measure the depth higher. It can go to 110, fine. It just feels a little tired in the near term. Just reading chat. Everybody wants to do analysis on page 56 of CoinMarketCap. I don't get it, but whatever. Ethereum. I think Ethereum looks great. Looks great on the weekly. Looks great on the daily. It's overbought, but it also hasn't gone anywhere relative to everything else. So to me, it has a better relative value than most everything because it's been such an underperformer. Either it breaks out at 4K or it pulls back to like 3,200 and then breaks out. But 4K is certainly the line in the sand that I would be paying attention to. You've got two targets. You've got this huge macro target, which is in the same vein of the BTC cup and handle. And then you've got this IHS possibility, should that happen down here, if that plays out. That's it. I don't think there's anything else to say. On technicals, maybe we get that, maybe we don't. I like it here, I like it lower. I don't like it below 3,000, but anywhere between 3,200 and 4,000, sure, why not? And what I like even more than the USD pair is the BTC pair because this already has a right shoulder. It's in the cloud. It's getting ready. Potentially, you know, again, if I'm trying to look for stuff that could do well into the new year, it's got seasonality on its side. It's got regulatory stuff coming from a tailwind perspective. It's down 50% in 2 years. Like, the story is there for this thing to do anything bullish. And we can measure this. We can say, okay, it's going to go maybe to 0.05. If that's a trade you like, maybe you take that trade. But from the long side, if we were to assess the risk reward, minimum would be, what is that? 2.8, max would be 4.6. So that's pretty good on increasing your BTC stack for sure. Lots of everyone loves to trade the coin listings. No one loves to trade the coins. That's one reason why the old stuff. If the old stuff, EOS, Tezos, I don't know, pick whatever you want, Zcash. If the old stuff doesn't have momentum, it is very hard for that thing to get going. Now, it'll eventually get rotated into from a relative value perspective, as we've seen. But people don't care about this stuff. They just don't. You know, you can think whatever you want. If you're a Tezos community member, nobody cares. It's just true. Why don't they care? Because they're busy chasing the next listing on Binance. They're busy chasing the next listing on Coinbase. They're busy chasing the next meme coin on Dex Screener. Right? Like, they don't care about Tezos. Why would they? Or should they? You know? Now, the chart is the chart, and it looks okay. But you've got a mix of like triple bottom cloud. Maybe it does well. Again, this doesn't do well because Tezos is great tech. It doesn't do well because the blockchain's getting used. It does well because everything is bullish. It does well because a rising tide raises all shitcoins. That's what we always see. Not to just pick on Tezos, but let's say this breaks up. Tezos goes to 5. I don't know, right? The cloud likes 488. But is this a trade I want to spend $1 sitting in or wasting my time thinking about? I don't, but there are people who do, right? So, but it's just funny to see what people are focused on. That's all. ETC. Again, this is why Monero is having trouble doing anything. It's not listed anywhere. You know what does well? Things that are listed, things that get listed, things that stay listed. So it's tough because it's like Curve, the DeFi protocol. Love Curve, love the protocol. I don't need to own Curve to still love the protocol, right? All right, so that's ETH, that's ETH BTC. We'll go to Sol. Sol has been getting dumped by Pump.Fund, which is hilarious because it's like the ICO cycle, just speed run. You've got people buying Sol to use Sol in wherever Pump.Fund, and then you've got Pump.Fund very quickly just dumping that as fast as they can. So I don't know, it's just funny. Sol hit the daily key June, so it, unlike BTC, it mean reverted completely. Here, I don't even know. Is this a falling wedge? Pick a time frame. Is there anything bullish? I'm not a falling wedge believer here. I know a lot of people who are, but that doesn't look pretty to me. This doesn't have to go to zero. I'm just saying this for people that, you know, I can be neutral on something and it's okay. It's okay to not be awesomely bullish all the time. I just think there are better places, better things to do with your money. That's all. But yeah, again, if you think Sol is going to 1,000 this cycle, what do you care about anything that happens probably in the next 2 months, probably in the next 3 months? Right? If you think this is this, a cup and handle, and again, we're using this risk reward tool, stop loss would be at the bottom of the previous range. First target would be 900. Second target, whatever that is, 2000. I don't think it ever gets there, but that's a 27 risk reward. Okay. Like if you think that that's going to happen, your size should be based on the conviction in which you think that's going to happen. So if you think it's 100% chance, that's a pretty good conviction, you know? I don't know. We don't, as much as I'm, shitting on Monero for not having access, Sol, similarly in the institutional front, could see increased access via ETFs, as could some other stuff. So maybe that's the narrative and the story and how it gets there, right? I don't know. But that's one way this could happen in 2025. I don't know. Sol BTC looks like junk to me. Sol BTC has a similar setup, but it's in no man's land and has been since the beginning of the year. This is a great trade setup with breakout potential at 0.027. Right now, it is nothing to me. It is a piece of furniture. It could go either way. I have no idea. But I would definitely set alerts on the top of this thing. What I'm not going to do is accumulate this with the assumption that this breaks out. I would much rather just wait, because look how choppy this has been. Very choppy. It would be difficult for this not to outperform should BTC be turbo bullish. I think that would be difficult. So again, depending on how optimistic you are about XYZ for Sol in 2025, that's something to think about. Yeah, Sui Sol, I don't think they have that on Kraken, but we can pull that up here. I agree with you. Gosp. This goes back to what have you done for me lately? Where are the locusts seeing the most wheat? Let's put it like that. Where are the locusts hungry and feeding? Is it Sol, or have the locusts eaten the wheat patch on Sol? This is your target for Sui Sol. I mean, it's still a 2x from here, at least. And again, we can pull out the trusty dusty long calculator. We'll say realistically, risk reward is probably, hold on, what is this? What is this level? At 0.1 something. Let's say that's your stop loss. Any new lower low down there. I mean, this is a 3 to 7 risk reward. This is some sort of inverted head and shoulders mess. It's already broken out. You've also got to be very careful here about the rising wedge, because that's certainly there. And I wouldn't just assume rising wedges always break up. I would be careful with that assumption. Not saying I can't, but I'd be careful with that assumption. This chart also looks good to me. It favors Sui. Just reading chat. We back to the times. Is BTC tanking? I said it's below 100. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but since like 2018 on Thursday, BTC just has trouble staying elevated. So it's funny that today's the day. I'm not going to so Ray says there should be a use case for else, not just the chart case. I'm not going to disagree. The use case is speculation. If you dig down deep enough on most of this stuff, you're not going to like what you find. You're just not. All right, so that's Sol. Sol ETH is another one. Do they have this on? they do. I don't think there's a clean read here personally. The daily cloud tells you to just stay out. Again, it favors ETH over Sol. What does Sol BTC favor? To me, it favors BTC here. So at this point, I don't see a great reason to hold on to Sol. I like it better higher. I'm a breakout trader. I like trend. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. All right, Ripple. I'm going to say the same thing I'm saying for Algo, for HBAR, for ADA. If it's up 300% in a month, probably not a great entry here. Probably not a great entry here. That's all. The cloud is a bit confused because it was flat for 2 years and then popped like that. It's still going to give you mean reversion levels, 170. But good luck. Good luck doing anything down there. We can go to the 12-hour, or we can go to the 6-hour. The 6-hour is probably what you want to watch because it caught the lows. We've held above the Tenkin this whole time. And now up here, what are we doing? We're kind of losing momentum, which makes sense. It's up 300% in a month. 300% in a month. What do you want, right? So anything can go higher, but trees don't grow to the sky. So eventually something's got to kick in here. Maybe this is like similar to Sol, some sort of descending channel thing. I don't know. There's nothing for me here. This is what I like down here, right? I want to see a breakout again. So if you're looking at this stuff thinking, oh man, I missed the trade, what do I do? You're right, you missed the trade. There's nothing to do, at least based on the cloud, and you wait. You just wait for momentum to come back. That's all. But yeah, there's nothing to do there. Ripple BTC, the exact same chart, the exact same idea. That was the train left the station right here, okay? Train left the station. And if you didn't hop on, you're just waving goodbye. That's the best spot to get on the whatever bandwagon train. Up here that's rough. So it's not for me up here. Doge, probably the exact same thing. It had a pretty decent case for an ascending triangle. That has since broken down. It's into the cloud now. What I would want to see up here would be what we saw back here. Price above cloud, price above 45 cents. It's a better trade. I know everybody wants to jump in something that's moving and has momentum or has had momentum with the assumption that that momentum will continue. But it's really a better trade if this pulls back if this goes back to 30 cents, that's a better trade than here. Now, it's obviously got to pull back to 30 cents, but what justification do you have here? I do not know. On technicals, I don't see anything. It's a failed ascending triangle breakout. It's a failed bull flag. It's below the Tenkin on the daily. The trend metrics just look kind of murky on low time frames. To me, there's not a clean trade here to the long side. I don't see anything that I like there. Doge BTC, same deal. This to me looks even more head and shoulders-y. You know, it's just, you could interpret this probably as a flag or something, but you want this, again, you want this above trend metrics up here. People just assume we've had all this momentum. I'm going to keep buying these lows, and it just keeps going, right? So I'd be careful with that. this chart doesn't look super happy to be here. And again, it's up 300% a month. Like, maybe let some people sell first. Link has done well. The Trump DeFi World Liberty whatever wallet was buying buying Link, Aave, and ETH. You got to think, for the themes of 2025, just because DeFi's been beaten down so much, you've got to think that regulatory easement or clarity would certainly act as a tailwind for DeFi. I would imagine. No guarantees or promises, obviously, but if I had to pick a sector to overperform in 2025, it would probably be DeFi. Not meme coins, not layer ones. It would probably be DeFi. And it would probably be blue chip. Link, Aave, ETH, that's right up there. AVAX, maybe, maybe any decent smart contracts layer one that you like. Sure. I'm not a fan of ADA personally, but maybe ADA, I don't know. I don't know what they do over there. Again, Ray, Berg owes us a report on Cardano. That's what he owes us. I would love to get anybody on here to talk about any coin they like with real data. Would love it. I mean, Ray, it's DeFi season, right? Yeah. Sapien Scorpion says, if you didn't buy Ripple at 55 cents, it's not for you. I agree. Athena, you got to be careful with. Athena is very sentiment driven. So if sentiment is turbo bullish, the basis ARB gets extremely attractive and Athena does well. If we are in chop or if sentiment is not so bullish, Athena does less well. So it's going to be correlated to market conditions. So what is there anything to do on Link here? I don't think so. I was looking at like high time frames for Link today. I do like some sort of cup and handle play on Link as well. So like 40, 50, probably all-time highs. I don't know. Like, it looks fine, right? It looks fine. What do you do with it here? I don't know. No, Jeff, I don't like MSTR for the pop, personally. I think it probably does go up a little bit, but it's not for me. So Link looks okay. There's kind of like a megaphone thing here. Link BTC, same deal. Megaphone. It's been beaten down for quite some time. If we zoom way out, like on the weekly, this thing is just lost against BTC for the past 5 years. As it should. Now, the issuance differential is pretty stark on anything relative to BTC. But if there's no demand and the issuance is higher than BTC, this is what you get. Just permanent down only. We're trying to get above the weekly cloud. But if I had to pick a sector, if you all put them in a row and you said layer 1, layer 2, GameFi, DeFi, I don't know, whatever else there is, then I like DeFi. That's it. Yeah, we'll get to Legacy here in a second. Sui looks fine. I don't really have anything to say. It's just been kind of in this upward channel. Looks pretty good. ADA, similar to Ripple, Doge. It's up a lot in a short amount of time. This, to me, looks like a head and shoulders up here. So you got to be careful with that if you care. If I'm in from sub 40 and now we're chopping around in the cloud, we've got some bearish stuff here. Berg, cover your ears, buddy, because I got some bad news coming for the Cardano enjoyers. It's not a huge pullback potentially, but this is not a bullish, currently not a bullish consolidation, for sure. Yeah, Ezio, somebody else was asking about RSR. Isn't that the algorithmic stablecoin thing? I'm pretty sure that popped because I thought it was on Kraken. Maybe it's not. I'm pretty sure that popped because of the Trump cabinet association with somebody on Trump's cabinet is on the RSR board or something, right? I don't know. Anyway, ADA, not for me here. Even on the BTC pair, similar. The biggest problem with this market is everything moved at once. So if you weren't in Doge, Algo, HBAR, ADA, I think those were the big ones, you're underperforming November. And here, what do? I don't think you touch any of this stuff that's up 300% in a month. I just don't. Sorry. It doesn't look like it wants to keep going immediately. That isn't to say it won't do well in 2025. I just don't see it right now. AVAX looks okay. Past like the top 5, this all just becomes personal preference. You know, this looks like Link to me. We could see a move to like 220 or something eventually, right? I don't know. This looks like ETH a little bit on the lower time frame, inverted head and shoulder idea, right? So do you want to breakout trade this stuff? Do you want to just DCA? Do you just hate AVAX and you love Cardano, right? Like, I don't know. It's up to you, but I don't think there's any pressing chart one way or the other there. Oh, so it's not. Okay, that's why. LTC looks okay. It's above the weekly cloud. It typically tries to reach some crazy level 250. I don't know. I don't got anything else other than that. The LTC BTC chart's a little cleaner because it's been bearish since inception, effectively. And maybe it tries to do something. I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough to come at the king, you know? It's tough to come at the king. Yeah, Zycor, that's what people have trouble doing. They have trouble taking partial profits. Nothing says you can't take partial profits and just hold this stuff through the drawdown, you know? If you're bullish 2025, whatever. But if you want to buy a dip and you don't have any cash to buy the dip, that's a problem. Aave, I think this popped because Orange Man was buying. I know I have said and will reiterate, it has been a very choppy journey holding this at any point. It did well today. It's generally done well, but man, look at this chart. What a mess. It's up chop, I'll give you that, but it hasn't been super comfortable sitting in this. But that's Aave. Pepe, someone was asking, I think all the meme coins, again, look at this chart. This is up 2,000% in 2024. 2,000%. What more do you expect here? I don't know. I don't know. There was a Pepe trade that I took because the low time frames were flat for a little while. But up here, what else is there to do? It's done everything. It's been everywhere. This was the trade for me. It might still be on here. This thing. And this isn't even about being bullish or bearish. It's just like, what is your expectation and what is reality that you think is going to happen here? There was this inverted head and shoulders. It broke out. What's next? I don't know. I don't see anything here. Thanks for the Aave info. I don't know if I'm trying to think of when I would have even analyzed this. What do I have on here? Some sort of like, Doge has something similar. Where's this diagonal like Wyckoff thing? So it did break out of that, but I don't know. It's tough. It's very, very, very tough. Yes, memes, issuance is high, dilutive. I would just be careful expecting those to continue. It's up 2,000. You know, the S&P is up like 30% this year. Okay, that's just like, that's the reality of expectations. And that's on the super, super high end of averages for the S&P. That's insane. And that's after a 25% year last year. And we're talking about Pepe that's up 2,000%. And we're looking for a long trade. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to keep pushing that higher. That's why the relative value game favors the laggards. The laggards aren't always going to do better. But if you had to make me take a trade, you know, it would be on something like DOT versus Pepe. I have no clue if this overperforms or underperforms, but it's a thing. It hasn't done super, super well over the past couple of years. It does, like a lot of these lower tier coins, mid cap, I guess maybe you'd call them. A lot of them have this like double bottom, triple bottom, flat. Algo broke out of something similar, but is there anything here? I don't know. I don't think there's much of anything here personally. But that's just my opinion. 300% on Aave, happy to take profits. Yeah, it's just personal preference. That's all. All right. Quickly, Tia looks okay on the daily. It's kind of a mess. I like the Tia BTC chart more. I like alerts at this level, whatever this level is, above the daily cloud on Tia BTC. One alert there, one alert at the diagonal. That's where I want to take a trade if I'm taking a trade, but not much to do here on Tia. Algo's up 300% in the past month. It's just not for me. Too much too soon. Next trade, next chart. Stellar, same thing. Too much too soon. Next trade, next chart. FTM looks fine. Why is there not that much history here? It looks fine. I don't really have too much to say. What else do we want to talk about? Monero. Just because I was talking about it. I don't have anything to say that's bullish about Monero other than the Daily Cloud says it's okay. Nobody owns this. Nobody can own this. That's the tough part. So unless you're in a Walmart parking lot buying Monero, it's going to be tough for most people to buy it. Outside of Kraken, it's going to be very tough. Coins that haven't moved are dead, says MJ. I'm not going to disagree. But I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough for me to come in and buy anything that's up 300% in a month here. Near's another one, looks okay. You've got, charts that look like ETH where it's like they haven't made the higher high yet. That would be near. Do you like those charts? Do you like the SUI, which is it's just personal preference. Lots of bullishness though across the board. The 300% stuff in a month, not for me. WIF, is that WIF up 300% in a month? I actually don't think it is, but I had it on the list somewhere. I just think all the meme coin stuff is tired. Bonk broke out, pulled back. Doge looks heavy. Pepe looks heavy. SHIB we talked about or no? SHIB just looks, I don't know. I like it. I like everything at highs, but not here. WIF, there it is. WIF daily cloud is, why does it always do that to me? WIF daily broke out and then just pulled right back. So it's not for me. That is your meme coin review. RSR. Bro, this is a... if you like the long-term chart, sure. But I wouldn't have any expectations in the near term. I'll agree with you. It is above the weekly cloud. It's got this like inverted head and shoulders thing. It is what it is. You just got to be careful with that kind of stuff. The tough part here, again, everything moved together. Literally everything moved in November. So like, what do you do here? Do you sit in the less risky stuff, or do you continue taking risk, expecting things to do well? I don't know. It's personal preference. I would personally sit out of the ultra risky stuff and just wait it out. All right, legacy. Let's look at the S&P quickly. DXY. Oh man, we do not want this breaking out. If DXY breaks up, if the dollar strengthens, that's going to hurt liquidity, and that's going to hurt crypto. We have rates coming down. So, we have rates, we have tariffs, we've got whatever other economic policies coming. It's going to be tough to know exactly what's going to happen there. But one thing we don't want is things like this. Like, this is a super bullish chart. Look at this thing. I had thought, yeah, there's a pretty good chance for head and shoulders here. That looks to be, unfortunately, not playing out. So that is bearish crypto, certainly. It's just going to be harder. The higher the dollar goes, the harder it's going to be to push crypto. Low to high, I think in the near term, the meat of the move on alts is over. Yeah. How much more do you want, right? Meme coins are up. Pick whatever. Okay, let's pick anything that's up 300%. 300% in a month is crypto. 30% in a year is the S&P. You're 10xing the entirety of the S&P in a month. What more do we want? What more do we want? Strong dollar hurts anything denominated in dollar, and it also hurts emerging markets, especially. So that's why it hurts crypto. Near term, probably being into next year, Fadi. Yeah. For me, I'd be most comfortable if this stuff just consolidates. I don't see a great setup in the near term here on any of this stuff. Anyway, dollar is going the wrong direction for sure. S&P, I don't have anything constructive to say. It's just been just on this bullish channel. It's done really well. That's it, right? It's down today. Could be down in December. It could, the Qs could drop to like 505. I don't know, right? It's still bullish. It looks fine. It's just, what do you do here? I don't know. I don't see anything really. I don't really see anything. But it looks fine. Oil, gold. We'll do gold first. Gold has been all over the place. Gold has not been trend bullish since the end of November. If we as a country don't take inflation seriously, then gold should be more bullish. That's maybe what we're seeing here with inflation ticking up and rates expected to tick down. I don't know. It was bearish on the cloud on the 25th. Today it's telling you it's bullish again, but it's just been choppy, very choppy. Hasn't quite broken down, but it certainly hasn't been a clean bullish trade. Oil, if we're going to pump more oil in this country, then I don't think oil is going to go higher. My expectation would be if we actually do start pumping out more oil, then oil is going to have trouble not falling, right? What's up, Eduardo? Just reading chat. All right. So that's those. They look okay. I don't really see any setups or trades there personally. Miners, people keep asking me about. If you liked sitting in Aave chop, you will love sitting in miners chop. These have been quite. This is WGMI. Quite the journey. It's been bullish. It's been in this channel. It's very difficult, very volatile. We can go down the list. Cores like NVIDIA, which is interesting. If these are more HPC oriented, which cores would be the top of that list, they may look closer to NVIDIA, which would be a little head and shoulders-y. If we go to NVIDIA, this chart to me hasn't looked this bearish. And this doesn't have a huge target to the downside, but it hasn't looked this obviously bearish since back here. This didn't break down, by the way, so there's no promises on anything, but it hasn't looked this bearish to me since that time period, but this is not something I'd want to sit in. So it's interesting that cores looks a lot like that as well. I wonder if there's some algos or whatever roping those two together. So I do not like that chart. Wolf, I don't know. All these, it's just very tough. It's up chop. You really got to wonder why these didn't break out more with BTC at 100K. Clean Spark, breaking down, not trending. Turbo Ultra, insanely gross. Look at this 2024 chop. Just awful. Awful chop. IREN, there's clearly some sort of channel here, but trade setup, I got nothing. Eventually, probably like a cup and handle. Something ugly like that. I don't know. I got nothing though. Analyst of analysts. Oh shit, is this the guy? I think this is the guy that did the thing on Ben. I love that, by the way. You got to check the videos. You probably don't know who I am, so it's like whatever, but you got to check the videos. Because I assume, so if you're not familiar with Analyst of Analysts, he went back and looked at Ben Cowan's calls. And I assume he knew the calls ahead of time or had been watching and then decided to make the video, so it would be harder to go back and look at my quote-unquote calls and do a video on that, but super interesting stuff for sure. Marathon, I don't see anything at all, personally. Riot, a mess. Like, all these charts are just such a mess. Bitfarms, they're just such a mess. I got nothing. Hut probably looks okay. It's at least at highs. But what else is here? You're just sitting in chop for a long time. So I don't know. Good luck with miners. I got nothing for you. MSTR, We can talk about everybody was all bowled up on it because, of course, it's getting potentially included in the queues, so it has to go up. I still wouldn't touch this here. I don't care if this pops to 600. It does not look like it wants to. It just doesn't. It still looks bearish to me. So that could be very wrong, but I can't take the trade here on this. It's also outperforming the 2X products today to the downside. I got nothing to say on those either. I did do alts already at the beginning. Can always rewind it on the recording. But you know, if you're bullish MSTR, you're hoping this clears. What is this? 417, and you're probably home clear. But if you saw this fractal on anything, and you didn't know the ticker, right? If we took this off, and you just saw that, I'm guessing you wouldn't be bullish. Again, that could be wrong, but man, I can't be bullish that. I just can't be. Saba, what I usually do is I delist the videos, cut all the parts where I said things wouldn't happen that did happen, and then I re-upload the video. No. Yes, the video will always be available. You can go back on the channel and look at all the streams. I'm trying to remember what else people wanted me to look at on the legacy side. Any last things here? QD, somebody asking about? Chinese something. Okay, all right. Here we go. What is this? We got... This is what I like. See, this is why I do this stuff, because then I can steal ideas from you guys, and I don't even have to do the work. This is a great looking chart. I think he said Chinese. Could be a Chinese EV company. I have no idea. Somebody can let me know. Yeah, unless YouTube blows up, they'll always be here. This is a great chart. No clue what this is. Speaking of political tariffs and whatever, owning China into a Trump administration, it's a choice. Got to be careful, though. Got to be careful. The chart looks phenomenal, for sure. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to find out. Let me just Google it real quick. Cudian? Investor relations? I have no idea what that even means. Enhancement of online... Sorry. Enhancement of online consumer finance experience in China. Okay. So is it like a SoFi for China? I don't know. Definitely got to be careful with that one. But man, the chart looks incredible. Incredible. This is another one I've been watching. Pulled all the way back, but EV. It's got a ton of Chinese EV stuff in it. What are your headwinds? Your headwinds are China doesn't keep printing. Your headwinds are Chinese tariffs. Your headwinds are U.S. protectionism on Tesla. I don't know. Is it a Chinese Ponzi, Mateo? I mean, the chart looks great. The chart looks really good. All right, TLT. I've kind of been saying in the macro weekly videos that, again, there's like times where I see obvious trades based on the cloud, and then times when there's just nothing there for me. We can look at this on any time frame. I don't see anything amazing as a setup. I think the previous best setup was like the 3-day breakout, the weekly breakout. I don't know why I've got diagonal lines all the way back there, but it just looks like a failed breakout at this point. So I don't know. It's a lot of guessing as far as what. Oh, that's why I had the dividend on. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. I just think it's a lot of guessing as far as what's actually going to happen in the next administration. So it's tough to take a read here. That plus the technicals. I don't think the technicals look bullish at all. So I don't know. I would like this above 95. I don't like it here. Shy looks okay. It's just chop, ag, chop. I like these all back at highs, but do you really want to sit in the chop? It's like K-Web, you know, the Chinese Internet ETF. I always, as a breakout trader, I'm always going to like stuff at the highs with the potential for momentum to follow through. I would much rather take that shot than sit in this just hoping that something happens. That's just me. It looks okay, but again, it's China, so you got to be careful with that. SQ is another one that has looked bullish for a long time. Finally broke out. I think it looks fine. I like it from here to 80. I like it back to the neckline. The cloud likes 77. I like all that stuff. But this was certainly one I took a couple trades on and just jumped out of because it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't doing anything. So I don't like sitting in sideways. That's why I like it much better. Not just because it's going up, but because it's out of this gross chop, right? Just reading chat. I told you stream to watch. I'm doing this because I need the good ideas from you guys. I can't get good ideas on my own. I gotta come to you guys. Anything else you want to see on the legacy side before we hop? Roblox was one I cut. Roblox, damn it, I did it again. I just couldn't handle the headlines, the endless headlines, but chart looks good. Can't deny that. Chart looks good. IVZ is another one. Like, this is the stuff I like. I don't care if this goes up, but I'm much more confident in taking a trade in charts that look like this, that haven't been up 300% in a month. And this thing might go nowhere. It's like Square, right? It might break out in a year, maybe it doesn't, but I like that it has gone sideways for 3 years. This is Invesco. This is the people who run QQQ. It's like on the financial sector side of things. Looks great. Schwab is another one. Where's that at? Schwab is another one. High time frame. It's not going to like make your year as a trade, but it's the TA looks good. Looks clean. Looks ready to me. Love it. Figs. Someone's asking. Yeah, sure. Why not? You know? It's probably not quite... It's like right there. You know? It's like almost ready. Falling wedge, bull div for multi-year bull div. When do you see that? That is a rarity right there. This is the Scrubs company, right? Figs? I think so. Maybe not, but I think so. Someone's asking about Palantir. This is a great example. Like, do I like Invesco, Schwab, or Figs versus Palantir? Now, yeah, this trade has done super well. But if I had to take a trade today, it's not going to be on this chart. It's not going to be on this chart. There's no way. There's no way. What is there to do here? Hope it goes up another 300% next year? Like, I don't know what do you expect, right? This is parabola on top of parabola. It had this, and then it had a blow on. Okay, you know, like, yeah, it's bullish. It's been bullish, but man, this is not someplace for me to look at. Cisco, is that what that is? Yeah. This is like a speed of gold, super slow mover. You hope this is kind of like the Sol BTC chart. You know, you're hoping that it's not a head and shoulders. You're hoping that it's not a diamond. You're really hoping that this is a ascending triangle, which it could be. It certainly looks like it wants to break up. I don't hate it. It's just it moves very slow. Very slow. But yeah, Cloud likes it on the monthly. Cloud likes it on the weekly. 3-day, 2-day, daily. Now it's gone up a lot recently. 25%. Cloud likes it though. Yeah, Costco. Man, Costco is like insane. The thing about Costco as a chart is it's given you opportunity, really since the breakout, it's given you opportunity to get back in pretty obviously. So again, if I'm taking like the parallels to alts, this is what you'd want to see with Ripple or with Algo or HBAR, some sort of obvious multi-day consolidation with a horizontal line, you know, just basic stuff. Costco up here right now? No, it's not a trade for me. It's like a gravestone into a bearish engulfing. Not the greatest set of candles. It had that here as well, but it looks fine. You know, it's bullish. It's bullish, but the better entries are waiting for the consolidation phase. It's literally had mega consolidation, breakup, markup, reconsolidation, markup, reconsolidation, markup, reconsolidation, markup, just over and over and over again. But it looks great. Grab. Oh, we looked at this one. Did I not have... I guess I didn't have an alert on this, but I should have. I missed the train, ladies and gentlemen. The train was back here. That was the train, and I missed it. Looks really good. Somebody asked me about this, probably the same person. I just didn't have alerts on it. 560, maybe? The meat of the move based on the consolidation has happened, but the chart looks really good. Hood is another one. It's up well, it's not up 300%, but it might be 200%. 200% in 2024. Everybody knows Hood on the retail side, obviously. Loves Hood. I just don't have anything to say, you know. It's bullish. It's up a lot. I don't see great entry here based on my system. I don't know. I got nothing. It just looks very overbought. Doesn't have to pull back. It's just, I like other stuff better. See if there's anything. Yeah, Amazon is another one I really, really like because it, in the Mag 7, really hasn't done much of anything. So from a relative value perspective, if we were to do this divided by... So this is Amazon divided by the Mag 7 ETF. You can see the underperformance in 2024. You can see a potential inverted head and shoulders here. This would favor Amazon on the ratio. So that's just one way to look at it without eyeballing it. But love Amazon. Love it. The last trade I took, if you'll remember from 2023 on Amazon, was way back here. Why did I like it? I liked it because it was a chart pattern plus a breakout. And that hit the target. We take the high, we take the low. It got there, it limped along. If we take this to there, it eventually got there. I cut it probably somewhere around 185 or something, but it got there. It did its thing. It's underperformed everything else, and now it's finally breaking out. So if we were to make the same measurements, it's already on here. What am I doing? That's the breakout from high to low. So as a 2025 idea, love Amazon. Love it. All right, last one, WBD, Warner Brothers. Oof. That's a good looking chart. That is a good looking chart. Beaten down to a pulp for years. I don't know what would this even be? I don't even know. It's just a channel, I guess. I don't know. The train is leaving the station eventually. It looks good on the cloud. It looks really good on the cloud. I like uranium as an idea. Chart looks okay. I don't hate Elon. I just think he does stupid stuff. That's all. I didn't say I hated Tesla. I just said, if you're honest about the fundamentals of, pick anything. Pick any fundamental you want. The chart is not following reality, and that's fine. I think fundamentals are mostly junk anyway. Look at the value people. How are they doing? Not so hot over the past couple of years. What was I going to say about Tesla? We talked about 270. If you look back at the videos like September, we talked a lot about breaking 270 and the possibility for this inverted head and shoulders idea. If I pull it up, hold on, let me find it here. Yeah, this thing. It hit the target. I didn't take the trade because I was trading Bitcoin, but it broke out at 270, and here we are. So near term, it's tough to say more. This is an all-time high, right? It looks okay. It should do well if Trump's relationship with Elon blossoms in 2025. All right, we'll do SMH, similar to MSTR. This thing just looks bearish to me. Head and shoulders, next chart. I don't have anything else to say. It's been up. We had talked about this cup and handle. It's one of the reasons why I'm not long SMH, but I'm long IGV, because IGV has an active cup and handle. It's really that simple. That's all I'm looking at. Square looks good, Trav. I like Square down to 77, personally. ASML. There's an attempt down here at Head and Shoulders inverted, right? There's something going on. We'll just give it a scoop. But I don't know. That's I don't know. I don't love it. You got to be careful. If we want to look at something like that, we can go to Stellantis. Look at this chart. This thing is down. So this is Chrysler Autos. It is down 50% from the highs still in 2024. Definitely not inverted head and shoulders candidate, but it could get there into 2025. So I like alerts at 14 on this one. I'm probably never going to take a trade here, but just as an idea, paper trade, 14 would be the level for me. Was that it? I think we're done, right? Coin? Okay. I know people are shouting out tickers, but I'm kind of losing my voice here. Coin. Coin had, as you can see it on the chart, Coin had breakout potential and then just kind of didn't do anything. So I don't know. Like, it looks okay. It looks okay. You can say maybe like gigantic cup and handle. I don't know. Would you rather hold this or 2x BTC or BTC options or MSTR or I don't know, leveraged ETH? Like, we can go down the list. ETH U divided by coin. Not really much data there. Not really much data there. What about? Not much data there either. Anyway, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because it looks okay. It looks way better than CleanSpark, to be fair. A couple months ago, I brought up a couple charts that were highly correlative. One of the pairs was Coin and CleanSpark. The other pair was Solana and MSTR. MSTR blew Solana away shortly thereafter, and Coin has outperformed CleanSpark. Not that that means anything, but it's just like, if you're holding CleanSpark through this, and this chart looks like that chart, and this chart didn't perform like that chart, why? Is there anything to do? I don't know. But it looks okay. I don't have anything specific to say about it. That's all I got for today. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the rewatch. Thanks for the comments, the likes, the dislikes, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a good weekend.